Hello everyone, welcome back to Alkaline Hydroxide 784. With A levels, well, for y'all, I guess, coming up, and with me realizing that I have a backlog of video footage. Yeah, now is a good time to talk about learning. Here's something that maybe you may not know about, which is that basically some of us celebrate this 9 day festival called Navaji, which is literally just means 9 nights. Yeah, and during this set of 9 nights, basically I think it's around the last of the 9 days, I guess, which is today, is Vijaya Dasami. In a way, it's kind of like the day of learning, and what we're supposed to do is learn something new, meet our teachers. Usually here is like we tend to go and meet our art teachers, music teachers, teachers who teach us certain skills. But in a traditional sense, you could meet literally any teacher. Yeah. So why am I talking about that? Well, it reminded me of the fact that learning is something that could bring us joy. So I'm going to talk about the joy of learning. And this is where the script stops, and I'm just going to talk spontaneously and see how it goes. So the thing about learning is, it's supposed to be a good thing. It has many benefits because if you learn something, then you know how to use it, or you know how to apply it to your situation, and it may help you in your life. So that's why we have education, right? Like the schools, and like a primary school, secondary school, and all that. And we also have teachers who teach other skills, not just academics, but also stuff like arts, music, dance, or even sports, martial arts, literally anything. So yeah, the point of learning is to help you learn about a particular topic or something, and get the skills in that particular field, and that will help you in your life. So now I think in a sense that's the intended purpose of learning, and therefore learning should be in theory joyful. It should make you feel happy that you're learning something that is useful for you. You're learning something that you can actually use in your life. But in reality, I think because of the education system, many people are actually stressed out all the time about learning per se, or at least it has become less of a learning thing and more of, you just have to study all of this, you have to mark everything in order to do well in school. And this is the case especially with national exams such as PSLE, O levels, and A levels. And A levels, I think, is probably the most stressful of the bunch because not only are you actually quite close to being an adult, you're also going to do pretty much the hardest set of exams in your life, basically, until that point. Because PSLE exams are actually quite simple if, in hindsight, if you look at it, they're quite simple to you. And O levels, I guess they are more difficult, and there's a lot more subjects in it. But at the same time, A levels is like a whole new ball game, even for those who did O levels. So yeah, it is important to note that A levels is something that will help you get into your university or something like that. And if you don't do well in the A levels, you have kind of don't have a lot of choices. You either have to choose another route, or you have to retake the A levels, or you have to just live with it in a sense. And that kind of creates a lot of stress for a lot of people, especially in JC, where the CTs tend to give you lower grades than you expect. You're suddenly given this shock of your life when you realize that your first CT is just so terribly done, that kind of feeling. But at the end of the day, you will probably do well in the A levels if you realize that if you manage to improve yourself from then on, and you continue to improve yourself over the 2 years. But anyways, like that's the A levels and stuff like that. But as at the same time as you study for the A levels, don't just study for the A levels or for whatever exam you may be doing. Don't just study the stuff for that, but also think of how this information is relevant to you, or think about how you want to use this information in the future. Of course, this wouldn't work for everything, but let's say if you know maybe depending on what job you want to do, like you can see, oh, if this information might be useful to me, then it's worthwhile. You might actually want to know it more than just for the exam purpose. And even if not for an actual purpose, understanding the information and understanding fundamentally how the world works is quite a useful thing. Like, it's quite a nice thing to be able to do. So, like, for example, I think I mentioned this like so many times already, like the the fact that in physics you have the Heisenberg uncertainty, which means that you can never like infinitely, like, cannot measure something to infinite accuracy or infinite precision in that sense, because the uncertainty just refuses to let you do that. If the thing moves just a teeny weeny bit, it's basically not going to work. You're going to, like, if you try to measure to a lot of precision in one way, it's going to move. Let's say a position, you try to measure the position or the movement of the particle, the momentum is then not going to be precise at all. So that's uncertainty principle and stuff like that. And that kind of makes you realize that not everything in this world is 100% certain. There's this sense of chance, there's a sense of probability, and probability is something you learn in maths, and it's useful to use that when you make decisions in the future. I mean, not just for, I mean, you don't have to be in a very high risk kind of game. It can be something like doing stocks, or something like, um, I don't know, just choosing which job you want to take over two different jobs, assessing the pros and cons of each of them, seeing the probability of certain outcomes by taking a job, or any other decision that you make, maybe a financial decision, or just a general life decision. So in a sense, if you think about it deeper, then you realize, okay, all this stuff that I'm learning isn't completely going to go waste. And even if you don't remember all of your organic chem or the details of your history stuff, you're still going to remember the skills or the strategies that you use to do the exams. And I think sometimes the strategy kind of helps make things a little bit more fun. Like, it's a bit like making the exam into a bit of a game, and it gives a little bit of joy into learning or applying what you learn to the exam. So yes, if let's say you feel very stressed about studying or doing exam papers, maybe you can take a moment to just go to YouTube, see a video about your favorite topic in that subject. Maybe that will motivate you to continue studying for the same subject or even another subject. Sometimes when I, like, during my JC times, I was still very much of a study nerd. So the thing is, if I didn't feel like studying for things, I would first do maths, and that would motivate me to study for other things. So yeah. And the funny thing is, after the A levels is when I start watching even more educational videos on YouTube, because I don't get the chance to, like, intensely study a particular topic, so I have more free time to, or like at least I have more mental space to watch videos like that on YouTube, and that makes learning a lot more joyful and a lot more for yourself. So after the A levels or after your O levels, even whichever exam it may be, think for yourself, whatever decision you're gonna make in the future, whether it is for your own interest, your own joy of learning, whether you will actually enjoy learning what you're gonna learn, and what is the purpose behind each of the subjects that you take, and how will it help you in the future. Yeah, that's pretty much it. And I hope you guys learned something new today. I mean, not from this video, but in general. And you know have a nice day. If you found this video interesting or semi-inspiring, then you can press the like button and subscribe. And with that, I would like to say thank you and bye.